Mhm. Well, I mean, if they're.
Welcome, everybody, to our Selma City Council special meeting. It's actually the regular meeting on October 16th, 2023 at 6 p.m. in the Selma City Council chambers at 1710 Tucker Street, Selma, California. The teleconference phone number is 301-715-8592. The webinar ID is 891-6864-5005. When on the phone, if you wish to address the council during the public comment portion of the agenda, press star 9 to raise your hand and we will select you from the meeting queue. Press star 6 to unmute and mute yourself. Tonight's invocation is by Pastor Marty Lynch Caliopano from the Christ-Driven Assembly of God. Welcome, Pastor.
Thank you, Council, Mayor, everyone. Thank you for inviting me to do this. Thank you for allowing me and my son to trade from last meeting to this one, as I was in a deacon's meeting at that given moment. So let's bow our heads. Let's go to the Lord. Most gracious Heavenly Father, thank you so much for the privilege to serve in this community. I pray for favor and your blessings, Lord God, over our council, our mayor, his family, all their families, Lord. I pray, Lord, that we would always be aware that you're in control of everything. Your word even tells us that the government rests upon your shoulders. And so we ask, Father, that you would bless this meeting, give us favor, continue to improve our community. We thank you, Lord, for all of the infrastructure that's being done in our community. We thank you, Lord, for the privilege to serve our not only our congregants, but each and every person, our constituents in this community. We ask, Lord, that your hand would be over this meeting tonight. May you get the glory, may you get the honor, and may we always remember in all of our decisions and everything we do to have a godly wisdom. We thank you for that in Jesus' holy name. Everybody said amen.
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 Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Would you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Guerra,
Here.
Councilmember Mendoza Navarro. Here. Councilmember Trujillo,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Cho. Here. Mayor Robertson.
Here. Potential conflicts of interest. Any council member who has a potential conflict of interest may now identify the item and recuse themselves from discussing and voting on the matter. Agenda changes or deletions to better accommodate members of the public or inconvenience in the order of presentation. Items on the agenda may not be presented or acted upon in the order listed. Additions to the agenda may be added only pursuant to California Government Code Section 54954.2B. Oral communications. At this time, any member of the public may address the city council regarding any item over which the council has jurisdiction. No action or discussion will be taken on any item not on the agenda. Issues raised will be referred to the city manager for review. Members of the public shall limit their remarks to 3 minutes and are asked to direct their comments towards the city council. Does anybody have anything they'd like to say at this time?
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. Shar Tucker, representing Selma Rotary tonight and the Selma Chamber. I would just like to invite all of you to be in our Rotary Parade on October 28th. So if you would like to, you just need to let me know so I can find a place for you in the parade. And then secondly, the Selma Chamber and the pastors, our local pastors here, would like to invite all of you to a mayor's prayer breakfast on November 2nd at Portuguese Hall from 7:30 to 9. It's been a while since we've done this. I think it was pre-COVID when we had our last one. So we'd like to get that back to an annual event. So tickets are $15 and I have tickets with me tonight if any of you would like to purchase them. So hope to see you on the 28th and again on November 2nd. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, just like to let her know that I will be out of the country, so I will not be attending. I apologize.
Next.
Council, I'm going to take off my clergy hat, and put on my citizen hat. Just want to bring up something. I don't want to sound like I'm complaining. By the way, please come to the mayor prayer breakfast, and Char, I'll pay for mayor's ticket. I just want to say this. I hope I don't go over, but I want to, because we have an event this month on the 31st. We've had 17 years. We've had every year we've been in Selma except for COVID year, called our Soup and Breast Festival. It is just an extension of our church coming out, giving back to our community. We ask nothing from anyone. Everything is from us to give back to the people. All of our gifts, we donate. Everything comes in from people that give to us, want to donate, but we give it all back out as an organization. Red tape, and maybe if you want to say bureaucracy, has begun to bog these things down from all of the boards I said on the different things I'm part of, whether it's Broken Neighborhoods or ours organization, from red tape and stuff that we have to go through. And I think we should consider these things that we're doing is starting to feel like this. We are now canceling events because it's too hard to work with city. It's too hard to go through city. I was told we had to have a health permit. I said, for what? Because you have food. So we have food every week. And I said, are you telling me we need now every Wednesday night on our taco night, we have to have a health permit? No. On our potlucks, we have to have a health permit. Every church in town that does a potluck has to have health permits. No. And I said, it's no different. We're going to go out and eat. And if as many people want to show up, can show up and eat. If they don't want to eat, they don't have to eat. Okay, then you have to prove you're going to get toilets. Then we have to prove those things. Still, we haven't been approved by city to even get a permit, though everything's like that. And so it just keeps snowballing back to where you think, well, we used to walk in and just everybody go, yeah, we get it. I want us to be real clear about this. We clean up Whitson Avenue. We clean up Sylvia Street. We clean up the alley behind Sylvia Street over by the 76 station. We clean up and leave everything better than we found it. We have our 10-foot barrier for the fire department to come through. We've always been exactly what we need to do. It's like I tell Loopy, I says, all we're asking is can we move out and use part of the street? If I was Valley Life or the Catholic Church, we could use our own parking lots. But we don't have that. We're landlocked. And in 2012, when we bought and just invested $1 million into this town we held up our end of the deal. 2nd Street in Sylvia is beautiful, always is, and always will look that way coming into our community. We're just asking that it doesn't feel like we're always having to jump through hoops or having to learn a new juggling routine every time we turn around. Yet we're not looking for favoritism, but we're not asking for anything. We just simply need the street. We have it covered. We know what we're doing in these events. We've been doing them year in, year out, and we're at 9 o'clock, we're off the street. No one knows we were ever there, and it's prettier at the best. If nothing else, we'll even trim some of the trees up so they're not in people's faces that belong to city. Just think we should consider some of those things and how hard it is now that we're now in meetings going, let's just forget it. And I'll give you a point. The city can do what they want to do. That's been proven. September 9th, we did a memorial for 9/11, invited all of our first responders, our police departments out for that. And city was quick to be there, say, you can't be on the thing, you got to carry it in from the streets, can't walk, can't drive.
Thanks, Pastor. That's it for your
I know,
3 minutes.
just really real quick. I'm just saying this, the week after we had a car show piled on there and then we have the Met Festival. I just want us to consider that. And maybe you can help us in that area on that red tape. Thanks for a little bit extra time.
Come on up.
Gonna say a lot tonight, but I hope you can hear me. But maybe it's short. I won't even use my 3 minutes. I'll be out of here. I guess you gotta be a pastor to go over your 3 minutes, but hey, no disrespect to you, but hey, you're alive for some people and not really. Now you people saved my life on Thursday because I had a heart attack, and I thank him and I appreciate him. And I was supposed to be dead, but I asked God, I would put myself on my talk and I said, God, send me a sign to keep on going what I'm doing, and I will do what you did. She sent me a sign, a strong one. I opened my gate and I went to the city yard or the school bus yard because that property belongs to part of me. They built one. So I saved my life. I went home against their wishes. I'm still alive. Happened. I'm still here. I'm back. And I just come to tell you, I'm gonna make it short. Councilman Woman Show is gonna not run next year. I'm gonna take a seat that's here. You're gonna redistrict, but I'm gonna fight it. If you give it to her, I got a right. If I lose because nobody voted for me, but you're not gonna take it away from me. And I'm gonna fight it if you try to redistrict, because you've been trying for that. And you know what? You should know this. I'm a Texan and a fighter, and I'm not talking nothing. You know what? I was there in '68, and you guys weren't on board. You see this? Back 1968. Can you see that? And everybody can see in the camera, the back. I was 16 years old and I fought for your rights. And that's why you got overtime and everything. I'm gonna cut it short. I'm coming for you. And Blanca, you said somebody was giving me wrong information. Everybody, I found it on the website. And you said it couldn't be true. If it wasn't true, why we show it? It wasn't true. So apparently some people are, and I already, I alerted the proper authority. You have to die. If something's going, you're gonna cost your own demise, not me. But hey, I'm a fighter, I'm a real Texan, and you can see me, and I'm gonna walk out here, think about what you're doing and how you disrespect me, and you don't disrespect me. It's on my intelligence, and I hope everybody out there in public sees it, because hey, people are gonna be watching the video. You think you're smarter than me? I learned in 1 week where you can find 3 years that part belongs to the city, and you know what I'm talking, because I went in there to addresses, look it up, and now you can start target. If you get their address, if you can do it, the title search, is that true, start talking? It's possible. Now she won't answer, ask her, but I'm gonna leave, and you know what? You watch it big, I'm coming back, and I'll run for her. You stop me, I'll alert the proper authority. So I'm not saying doing anything wrong, but I'm gonna teach you to respect me. You respected me insulting my towns. I'm a true Texan, and nobody liked me. I was there in '68 when I was 16 years old. My father's 47 from Mexico. We fought for it. That's what you got overtime, and that's what you got now. And you dare to disrespect the memory of my father that died. You know what? I'm gonna go, but think about it. I'm gone. Thank you for service and for your help. Hey, really, I want to help you because these guys are trying to stop you from doing your job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Teresa Salas, 1701 Dynevor Avenue. I am coming to complain. I have called the police department various times on Dynevor Avenue, just east of the McCall Village. There, it's all open, but people, like, there was a pontoon boat for sale there. Somebody else's, a motorhome, I mean, a travel trailer was parked there with their trucks attached.
Oh, man, can we just, yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Kaitis. Good night.
And when I'm exiting the park, I can't see past them. I cannot see the cars that are coming westbound on Dynevor Avenue. And I have complained before, and I keep calling the police department when it's there, because there is an ordinance that says you cannot park a vehicle with for sale signs on a public roadway. And so I call and it's days, the whole weekend, 3 days will go by before they finally move it. And I doubt it's because the police have been told or have told them to move it. So if something could be done, I just get frustrated because I'm paranoid. I'm going to pull out there and car's going to come out of nowhere, and I only have one car. So if somebody could look into that, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else have any oral communications at this time? Do we have anybody on the phone or online who'd like to say anything? That way we'll move on to our special presentation tonight. Tonight, we're having a special recognition to Coach Nick Quintana. I'm going to come down here. Come on up, Mr. Quintana. Let's give luck. Coach Quintana, you've done so much. I have to have a list so I can remember everything that you've done for our community. You've been a Selma teacher for 35 years. You've coached for Selma for 40 years. You're in the Selma Hall of Fame. You're in the Reedley College Hall of Fame. You're in the California Hall of Fame. What Hall of Fame aren't you in?
The national.
Oh, that's next.
Mhm.
But you know, Coach Quintana said that he's done all this. He's been an incredible husband, father, parent. He's been an incredible coach and a teacher and a wrestling coach that everybody had and everybody knows. But he's the most proud in his professional life of being in the choir at St. Joseph's for 40 years. Let's give him a hand for that.
Yeah.
Coach, I would like to present this certificate of recognition to you for your outstanding dedication to the youth of Selma. Presented this 16th day of October 2023 by myself, Mayor Pro Tem Beverly Cho, Council Members Sarah Guerra, Blanca Mendoza Navarro, and John Trujillo. Coach, this is your certificate. And now we'd love to hear from you before we take a picture with you.
I thought he was gonna ask me to sing. No,
Do that
no,
too.
not today. I'll keep it short. Even though we had a lot of success, I try to stay humble and stay close to God. And God gave me the opportunity to be able to teach for 35 years and coach for 40 years. And now I need 2 knee replacements and a shoulder replacement, but it's okay. It was worth the pain. And but you know, all you guys go to work every day, and some people like their jobs, some people don't. And it's a nightmare when you have to go to a job that you don't enjoy. But for 35 years, I loved going to work, going to teach. And for 40 years, I loved going to coach. And I miss it a lot. But now I have 8 grandkids and 3 great grandkids. And they pretty much take up my time in the choir and singing for funerals. And it's just fun. I mean, it's sad, but it's fun to sing to the Lord, and brings a lot of joy in my life. And I give God thanks for my 2 daughters that are here today, and for my 11 grandkids, and for all my friends. I look around and I have a lot of friends here in Selma, and I love it. And I thank God for that also. Thank you very much.
Picture with that. Awesome. You guys want to take the picture?
You're making.
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. Yes, sir.
You know, it's really amazing that I'm able to sit on the city council and able to witness Mr. Quintana, which we call him coach, because 40 years from now, in 1980, the city of Selma youth and the city of Parlier participated in a national wrestling tournament. And Nick was one of my coaches when we went to the nationals in Seattle, Washington. And he coached with my coach, Jim Clifton. And I know that Mr. Quintana did a lot for Selma, and I was a youth. And I really am really happy to be able to see him get a recognition in Selma, because when I was a youth, I noticed, and the Quintanas, they created this machine in Selma, and I'm really proud of him. And I really wish you congratulations for everything you've done for this community and our community, because now it's my community too. But I really, I thank you for that, for everything you did, because I witnessed it. I was part of it. So I thank you for that.
And I want to say something too. Congratulations, Mr. Quintana. I knew of you, and I knew, I hear your voice every Sunday on, at 9:30 mass. And, but really what resonates with me is knowing that the loving father that you are and the loving grandfather. And, I had the privilege of spending a weekend with your daughter, Nicole. And during that time, I also got the privilege to spending your daily prayer that you guys do, the rosary. And it was such a beautiful experience. And I was just like wowed because of the father that you are and the spiritual leader, the man of God that you are. And it was just a really, really great experience. And I'm so glad that I was able to participate in that. And I just thank you and congratulations.
And Coach Quintana, from the bottom of my heart, I love you, just like you're my Theo. So when we call you Theo or we call you Coach, it comes from the bottom of my heart, and I love you. Thank you.
Right. Thanks, everybody. What a beautiful outpouring of support for Coach Quintana. You mean something different to everybody. You know, you're a relative, you're a coach, you're a teacher, but you know, to us, you're just a huge part of our community. Thank you for everything you've done for Selma. With that, we will move on to our consent calendar. All items listed under the consent calendar category are considered routine. The complete consent calendar will be enacted by one motion by roll call vote. For purposes of discussion, any council member may have an item removed from the consent calendar and made part of the regular agenda. The council can then approve the remainder of the consent calendar. Does council have any items they would like removed from the consent calendar tonight?
Mayor, I'd like to remove item D and item J.
I'd like to remove item E. Is there a motion to approve items A through C and items F through H?
I'll make a motion.
Sorry, F through I, pardon me.
I'll second it.
Call the roll, please.
Councilmember Guerra,
Yes.
Councilmember Trujillo,
Yes.
Councilmember Mendoza Navarro,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cho,
Yes.
Mayor Robertson.
Yes, item D.
Okay, item D, consideration of rejection of a claim for Latasha Skinner, a claimant, in regards to, I guess she was pulled over by the Selma PD, and she's claiming that the PD officer did not give her back her driver's license. Is that accurate? I mean, what happened there?
I can answer that. So when these claims come in, we send them over to our insurance claims administrator. They do an investigation. In this case, the reason that they are recommending denial is that there is no evidence that the PD was responsible for the loss of her license. We just don't know whether she lost it for another reason or she misplaced it. There was just no evidence to suggest that the PD was responsible.
Perfect. So there's no evidence. Okay, that's just what I wanted to know.
Okay, is there a motion to approve item D?
I'll make a motion.
Call the roll, please.
Councilmember Guerra,
Yes.
Councilmember Mendoza Navarro.
Yes.
Councilmember Trujillo,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cho,
Yes.
Mayor Robertson.
Yes, item E. This is resolution approving a job description for Administrative Services Director and salary ranges for Administrative Services Director, Police Chief, and Public Works Director. So the question I have is, why would we be doing this as a city now, as opposed to doing this when the budget comes up?
Yeah, good question. There's several actions being taken and for different reasons. So the creation of the Administrative Services Director, that position does not currently exist. As you know, we have a vacant Deputy City Manager over Administrative Services position. We've chosen not to fill that position, but we still need to have a consolidation of different divisions, mainly HR, payroll, and IT. And so rather than fill the Deputy City Manager position, it made more sense to create this position to oversee those divisions. Finance would still be reporting on to the city manager, where previously the finance department reported to the deputy city manager. So it's more of a consolidation of different departments to make our administrative division more efficient. The other aspect of this item, the police chief. So within the police chief's contract, there's a 5% increase based on annual evaluation. And so the police chief is currently maxed out based on the existing pay range. And so we were still required to give him his 5% increase, merit increase, but that's outside of the adopted range. So in order for it to be PERSable with CalPERS and so that he receives, the pension benefits associated with his salary, we need to make this adjustment to match what that 5% increase would entail. And then the Public Works Director, that, as you know, that position has been vacant for quite some time. And so when we did an analysis, we found that that position, the adopted salary range for that position is very low compared to the other cities that we normally compare ourselves to. And as the council may recall, there's a 60% percentile target that we have for all of our positions. And so in order to adequately recruit for that position, it was necessary to increase that. And so we did a limited salary study. All of these positions will still be part of the class and comp study that the city council requested last year when you adopted the master salary update. But for purposes of urgency and consolidation of operations, it was necessary to do these now before the rest of the other positions.
Just a question, will the 5%, will city run into the same thing over and over with the police chief as the salary increases?
When we do the class and comp study, we'll make sure that that range is actually expanded to be able to accommodate future increases. Eventually we will run into it again, but it won't be something that we have to do yearly. I didn't want to expand it too far because we still have to do the market analysis, right? To be able to expand it further. But in order to first comply with PERS, we have to just at the minimum expand the police chief's salary range to where he's at right now.
And then just a point, just a formal issue, page 26.
Mhm.
The city of Selma, is that the human resources manager or is that the public works director? That salary comparison?
Oh, yeah, there's a typo in the title.
Okay.
That's actually the public
just-
works.
just
Director.
checking.
Thank you for pointing that out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
City Manager, I have a question.
Sure.
Okay, I understand the part where you're saying we had position for the deputy city manager or
Mhm.
for the second one.
Yeah.
Which was already budgeted in.
Correct.
Okay, but my question is for these two that you're saying we have to do now, what's the impact on our general fund? What is that gonna, it doesn't tell us exactly how much it's gonna impact on the general fund.
Right. We don't know because we haven't filled those positions yet. And when we fill those positions, well, the police chief is filled, right? The
Yeah.
public works director is not filled. What we plan to do is come back with a mid-year budget revision,
Mhm.
like we do every year, and let the council know this is what the budget impact it is from not only these revisions being presented now, but any revisions being presented at that time for not just personnel expenses, but other unforeseen circumstances that we didn't know about at the beginning of the budget year. So that impact hasn't been quantified, but it's minimal. It's not, between the savings and the deputy city manager role, and the fact that we budgeted a whole year of public works director, but we haven't utilized the whole year of it. So it's all gonna offset. I don't anticipate having to really raise our budget as a result of these changes because we haven't used the salary for public works director the entire year, as well as the deputy city manager. Mhm.
It's
It's
kind
very
of an
minimal,
offset.
if any at all. We might still come out on top. Mhm.
And is the administrative services director, is that filled?
That's not filled currently, no. We're just creating the position. Mhm.
So that's in place of the deputy city manager.
Yeah, technically
Much.
speaking, I don't plan on filling the deputy city manager position. Yeah. And I can revise our budget at mid-year to reflect that. So eliminating the budget for deputy city manager and instead allocating it to the administrative services director.
And my question is, I know we haven't been able to find a public works director for quite a while. It's been vacant. Do we see anyone in public works currently that could possibly be, a public works director or assistant or something?
No, in our assessment of the department, there's nobody currently equipped, but we are providing training opportunities to folks who can rise to the level of at least supervisor. So we're working very diligently on providing the leadership training, the management training. Unfortunately, under the previous directors, there wasn't really a succession plan and a development and training plan in place to be able to, we have 2 maintenance worker, 3 lead workers. who, they've been there for 20 years. And so the fact that they don't have the capacity, the skills currently to move up into the director role means that they hadn't been given the proper training opportunities. But we're sending them to training pretty consistently now. And I think in the near future, somebody within the department is going to be able to promote.
Anybody else? Anything from the public on this matter? Okay, with that, is there a motion to approve item E?
I make a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Call the roll, please.
Councilmember Mendoza Navarro.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cho.
Yes.
Councilmember Guerra.
Yes.
Councilmember Trujillo.
Yes.
Mayor Robertson.
Yes. Okay, check register.
Okay. On page 118, check numbers 82595. And it's CSJ BRMA, and that says HR for 23-24 second quarter deposit, 364,785. So when you're saying second quarter deposit, are we behind?
No, it's, HR manager, would you like to answer that question?
Council members, the second quarter is literally just the second quarter. So the first quarter is all of the workers' comp, liability, EAP, IRMA, pretty much everything that is the risk management. The second quarter is usually just workers' comp and liability. And then we'll have a third quarter and a fourth quarter. They send it out quarterly.
Okay, so currently, right now, we're in third quarter because we're already in October.
Right, so they just sent us the second quarter.
Okay,
Yes, so we are current, but their billing, they just sent it out. So that's why it's on the register.
okay. Okay. That's pretty much it for me.
One more follow-up question. So last year, the city paid $1,061,351 for the auto and the workers' comp, and the general liability. This year, it looks like it's 6 months. We're into it. We're well over, we're looking to outpace that significantly this year. What is the cost driver that's increasing we're already at, no, I'm sorry. I reversed my numbers. 1,460,240 was last year's. We are already after 6 months at 1,061,351. What is driving, and I may have asked this the last time I saw this quarterly update. What's driving the increase in the workers' comp, the auto, and the general liability?
So I can say that within the last 6 months, we are more up to date on all of our numbers. All of our vehicles weren't necessarily in the RMA. I have done an audit on all of our programs, and we're ensuring that all of our vehicles are insured. All of our employees are on our census. We are up to date, whereas prior to that, unfortunately, we were not.
Does this
So-
include health insurance, or does it only include worker? How does the census play into
So
that?
the census is required, we're required to send a census every December and every July to the risk management. And that's how they do the workers' comp. And they'll determine how many people are on our EAP program, what our liability is, that type of thing based on the census. So our numbers are more accurate than what they have been in the past.
Okay, so your numbers are more accurate, and chances are the payroll's gone up too,
Correct.
correct? Because of salary increases and because of the number of employees. Okay.
Correct.
Okay, so I guess we'll look for the third quarter. We'll see how we're doing on that one. Any other questions? Oh, I've got one. Fresno COG, Community Development Multi-Jurisdictional Housing Element. We talked about this at the last council meeting. This might be for the deputy city manager. Did the city make contact with that consultant, and is that housing element all buttoned up?
The date on all our data and informational needs to them for them to get us the draft. So we're not behind. or not anything.
They're not waiting for more
They're,
information.
they're
from
not
the
waiting
city.
for staff to respond to any comments or questions in terms of data needs. We should be receiving our draft here shortly. One item we did receive at the PAC meeting at Fresno COG last week regarding the housing element is the consultant PlaceWorks is having to go back and consider further comments from HCD as part of the housing element process. Fresno COG did receive approximately $250,000 in REAP funding to cover those additional costs. So Fresno COG is actually picking up some cost for some of the revisions and some of the questions and responses to comments from HCD for all of the jurisdictions through the end of the year.
That's the deadline, right? 12/31.
Correct.
Got it. Thank you for that update. Anybody else with questions on the check register?
I actually do. I wasn't, I normally ask these questions during our meeting, but this one just slipped my mind. But check number 82650. I'm seeing here that a check went out on 9/21 to Second Chance Animal Shelter of 30,000, but they said they got their check late. I know this one's for October, but they mentioned that they got their check late. So that's confusing to me now that
So,
well, the conversation was different.
yeah, good question. It wasn't released until after we were able to review, and they don't give us their financials until the end of the month. So
Mhm.
we print the check because we know we're gonna pay it,
Got it.
but we hold it until we receive the financial information and review it,
Oh, okay. So it was printed on time. You were just waiting for them to provide you with the
and for me to
documentation.
review it as well.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
All right. Anybody else with any questions? Glad we were able to share the check register with the public tonight. Thank you. I'll make a motion to approve this item. Is there a second to approve the check register?
I'll second it.
Call the roll, please.
Mayor Robertson,
Yes.
Councilmember Guerra,
Yes.
Councilmember Mendoza Navarro,
Yes.
Councilmember Trujillo,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cho.
Yes.
Okay, moving on to our regular business agenda. We have no public hearing items, so we'll start with our economic development update.
Council members. Slideshow. So I'm excited to be here giving you an update on what we've been working on in terms of economic development since I started in maybe like 5 months ago. It's about 5 months now. So I've prepared a brief snapshot of just some projects worth highlighting. And I will go ahead and begin by telling you about the city's involvement in or participation in the Fresno County Surf Table. So the City of Selma continues its active participation in the Fresno County Community Economic Resilience Fund initiative. So up there, you're seeing a photo of both the Central Valley Surf and then the Fresno County table. The Central Valley Surf is made up of 3 counties. Kings and Tulare are one table, and then we've got Madera and Fresno. So SURF is working to create a regional and economic recovery transition plan, which funds projects that prioritize economic diversification and increase economic and environmental equity within our region. So their last meeting, which was hosted in September, was actually hosted here in Selma. So we had 43 members joined us at the Swan Court, and we kind of went over the strengths, challenges, and opportunities and threats of our region. So that was kind of an exciting update I wanted to go ahead and include. And then moving on to the Central Valley Training Center. The City of Selma is actively engaged in administering that program. We are in the midst of cohort 11 now, and that'll wrap up before the end of the year, which is very exciting. Many of you were at the cohort 10 graduation, and so let's see, the CVTC has graduated approximately 150 students to date, with over 1,000 people showing interest in the program. The program is designed for veterans, at-risk youth, and minority and low-income populations, people that are struggling to find employment essentially within Fresno, Kings, Tulare, and Kern counties. Students that go through the program receive 12 weeks in training in the following trades: bricklaying, or carpenter training, cement masons, electricians, and iron workers, really kickstarting their career in the construction industry, which is super important for our region, given all the investments that are going on. And Right now, to kind of continue those services, the city opened up the RFP for a subcontractor. So that is open and it will close in the next 2 weeks. So we look forward to continuing those services without interruption. And then moving on to the small business workshop. So this event was hosted in coordination with the Chamber and the EDC. So a huge thank you to our partners at the Chamber. They've been great to work with. And this event was really aimed at providing our local businesses with opportunities for not only networking, but learning about what financial resources are available to them. We had the Metro Black Chamber there presenting on their CAVA loan, and this was super exciting for me because they're loans that range from $1,000 to $15,000, and it really focuses on giving access to capital to those small businesses that are hard to give, that maybe a commercial lender would not typically give a loan to. So that was exciting, and these loans are at no interest. So, and then the EDC was also there sharing information about their NEO employment program. That is a partnership between the EDC and then the Department of Social Services, where they offer employers subsidized employment options. So hiring employees is very difficult, and a lot of small business owners know that, but the EDC does offer that resource that if they hire from their hiring pool, they have the opportunity to have I think it's the first year, up to the first year of wages reimbursed for that employee. And the Noble Credit Union was also there presenting information about their member business services. So again, just letting our businesses know what resources are available to them and bringing it to them, bringing it to Selma so they don't have to go elsewhere to learn about them. And then I also have an update on the downtown. The city's downtown revitalization endeavors are making strides. We are, well, just a minute ago on the consent agenda, we had the RFP for the strategic plan, which will kickstart pretty soon. We're also working on the downtown bid. So we look forward to having their participation as we work on that strategic plan and having it ready for all of the events that are to come. And then I also wanted to mention, it's not on a slide, but we are working on submitting an application for funding on infrastructure improvements. So staff is being super strategic about reducing the upfront cost of future projects, and we're applying for an EDA Public Works and Economic Adjustment Assistance Grant, which will extend the sewer system along Floral for all of the future development projects that we have underway. And then also staff plans to attend the future ICSC conference as they have in previous years. So that will be coming up next year around March. So we look forward to that. We're super excited. And with that, I will take any questions if you have them.
Does anybody have any questions?
This is great. I want to tell you, this is a great job. The Central Valley Training Center, which is, a great thing for our city of Selma. But the questions that we get quite a bit, and I thought maybe we should do something like this, is do something on our webpage or city page to really emphasize how these students can apply to get into this training center, because you get quite a bit of those questions. How do I apply? Every time we put a photo or something, they'll ask us. The other thing is, are they involved with the school, Selma High? I've asked that question before, and one of the professors there, I asked him, I said, hey, have they come and did a training here? So that way the students that are seniors can know. Some of them won't go to college, some will, but for those that don't and are interested in a training center, we kind of have to catch those kids before they, go out somewhere else, So just wanted to know about those updates. And then also, like I said, putting something on our city webpage to show them this is how easy it is to apply,
Right. No, those are good comments. I appreciate them. I do know that when the recruitment process begins, they do reach out to not only our high school, like counselors that really work with the students for post-graduation plans, but they also reach out to our adult school and then the community colleges in the area.
Okay.
So, but in terms of actual presentations in the classroom, that might be somewhere where we can look into doing.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, this is a great presentation and it does show, all the different partnerships. And I did meet a couple of the participants from the from the Small Business Association, I think is what it was. Yeah, and so they were excited that they were coming to Selma. And I was hoping that, because they're part of the Civic, which is in entrepreneurial for immigrants. And so I know that they want to do something here, well, in Fresno County, and I was really trying to sell Selma to come in
Yes.
for them to do. But yeah, this is really exciting. And then with respect to the CVTC, yeah, it would be great because Selma just opened up their VROP building. And so
Yes.
that would be a great area to go and do a presentation, especially because I believe that the kids are actually designing a tiny home to be able to build. So that would be a great partnership with the CVTC. So great presentation.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Anybody from the public? Yeah, we voted tonight. I think it could send as well on the extension of the lease for the CVTT. That's awesome. We got another year out of that. It's just amazing. And I think most of us were at the graduation. It's so nice to see those lives affected for the better in education. That TOD grant continues to bring blessings to the city for the downtown strategic growth plan. That's gonna really help downtown to grow in a systematic way. I think that's important. Talking about the entrepreneurs and the people I talk to, they all say the same thing: less red tape, lower fees. Make it easy for us, and that's where we want to go. And they all talk. So I think that's really important that we're making strides in that direction. I think that's a really good thing. Love to see this this presentation. Hope we can do even more on that. Okay, that we will move on to our next item. That is a non-voting item. That is a informational item. Our next item is the Downtown Cafe Light Replacement Update.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. We'll continue the theme of talking about downtown. This is a quick
Downtown
update on the cafe lights that came up a few weeks ago with the downtown project, removing the trees that were causing issues with the sidewalks and the ADA problems. Those lights had to come down because, as I talked with Public Works, it turns out those lights were mainly supported by the trees and then plugged into the older, the street lights. There's an outlet at the top. So with that information, trying to look at ways that we can bring back the cafe lights from a couple different scenarios. The strategic plan that we were just talking about, in my opinion, is an important piece that we include these cafe lights as information from the business owners as they reach out to talk to the bid and talk to this consultant. We're going to want their input because this kind of adds to the ambiance and the branding of downtown. That being said, from the engineering standpoint, we went ahead and kept looking at different concepts, ways that structurally we could put cafe lights back in the area. So the little sketch I did was more of a communication with a structural engineer, showing 4 different possible ways that lights will be potentially hung. So either just along the sidewalk as they were before, that's kind of on the right side of the exhibit, say 8 feet, where you're really lighting the sidewalk, similar to, I think, what it was beforehand, because they were just on the sides. The other option that was brought up, and we wanted to at least get some structural concepts, is maybe having higher poles and potentially running lights across the street. Those have to be higher because of traffic, fire trucks, the traffic that goes through there. So that being said, our office has kind of put out a concept of distances, how far apart these poles would have to be, And we're still waiting for a structural engineer to just give us some concepts. So kind of a high level review. We're not asking for detailed drawings yet, but at least to get an idea of what would it cost if we had to put some poles and make it work. So that's where we're at. I don't have those concepts yet. I'm waiting to get a kind of proposal from that consultant. The idea from the city manager's office was let's get this concept, let's have some rough costs, but then let's make sure the strategic plan goes through its process. And then we can at least use this information. If the strategic plan includes cafe lights and has an ambiance of that, then we'll be ready to move into some type of actual design project. What would it look like? So that's kind of the thought process. We are moving forward, at least to be ready for that, but we don't want to get too far ahead of the strategic plan. So that's my update. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Well, I appreciate all your work. Thank you for this. And yes, only because, you know, it's important that lighting out there really made a difference, especially with the kids that are performing, you know, at the art center. It's really dark. I just went over there. They had one showing last night and it was super dark. And that's a big concern, you know, it really is. And I think that the citizens really enjoyed it. You know, they loved the lights. They said, and they used to say, God, it's so pretty out there. It looks nice. And, you know, we just don't want to take that away. I hope we don't, you know, we can make something work. So I really appreciate that. Thank you.
I just have a real quick question. So this is like a little sketch of just the main street, right? But we're talking about also maybe Second Street, all that downtown areas where we're talking about these lights, or just in that on High Street.
I mean, I think that's all part of the discussion of the
discussions,
downtown
okay.
strategic plan. I mean, the downtown strategic area or the bid area is
Yes.
considerably larger than just High Street, right? So
Yeah.
I think that's part of the discussion. If council goes back to the item on the consent calendar, the actual proposal provided by the winning bid for the strategic plan actually included some preliminary concepts of what they envisioned for downtown, and one of them was a gateway on Second Street. So to the council member's point, I think expanding some of the area where we have some of these design features or aesthetics, I think is really important and will be taken into account as part of that downtown strategic effort.
Because I know that High Street is not just like in front of, you know, the like Nelson's, I mean, not Nelson's, but the art center. There actually goes out to Nelson and in front of the post office. So that's why. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Just to clarify, this exhibit is generic for the block. I wanted to have dimensions. The structural engineer has
Yeah,
to know some of that.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, because we're talking about where the lights used to be, which was High Street. It didn't go down past Nelson's. It was on that High Street stretch in front of the Art Center. And also on that Second Street. We know because we were one of the group that put them on High Street. So it did add luster to the downtown. That strategic plan takes that, ramps it up. So a really interesting planning going on here, of which the lights are potentially a part. Also maybe speakers down the line too. I know that's still in the works. That'll be important. Businesses come and go downtown, but if I think the city, you know, we can create that ambiance, maybe we attract more and we make it a nicer place to go.
That's the goal of the strategic plan, right? Is to establish an environment that lasts long after businesses come and go, right? So that we can say, this is what we have, this is how we feel about our downtown, and we want people to come downtown for the experience. And the strategic plan is really going to drive that.
Right. Agreed. Anybody else? Anybody from the public? Anybody online or on the phone?
(1057) Mill Street. So going back to how nice it used to be, this is very positive. You know, we are seeing where our taxpayer money's going with these new employees, and you know, that's great. But at the same time, you know, we get people that come to our office or call us or text us and say, what's going on with the senior center, what's going on with the Boys and Girls Club, what's going on with a lot of things that they deserve. It's our taxpayer money. The safety of those cafe lights was for the safety of the grandparents, the safety of those kids that would go to the art center, for those seniors and many people that used to go and get their medication. We're going to be around the corner where they're going to be picking up their medication, and they have until 6 o'clock. So this is positive. This is good. Is there a timeline on when this is going to happen? I mean, this would be great if we could really push it and put these lights back on and get this going so we can make the citizens feel happy again and to see the lights at night. There was a lot of walking for physical fitness. There was a lot of, just people came and hanged out after hours. It was a good thing to see that. So hopefully, this all sounds great and all. Is it going to possibly also be on the website to let the citizens know what's happening as well? And, how quickly can we push this? Because we're also going to have the parade, the Christmas parade at night. It's going to be super dark, and it's public safety as well. So hopefully this will be pushed pretty quickly. So, we have something to tell the citizens of Selma how quickly this will be coming back. Thank you.
Deputy City Manager, it sounds like it's part of the strategic plan and the lights are going to be wrapped into that. And along with the timeline of the strategic plan, the lighting plans will happen as well. Is that true?
It is true. The current schedule, I believe, for the strategic plan is 6 to 8 months for the completion of the strategic plan, which would more or less dovetail with budget for next year as well. So the goal of the strategic plan is to identify items that can be implemented as well as some anticipated costs, so that either private funding, partnership funding with downtown businesses or capital improvement projects can be done in those areas and budgeted accordingly.
Thank you. Anybody else? This is a discussion item. We will move on to our last item of the evening, which is consideration of a resolution approving an agreement with Axon for the purchase of body worn cameras, accessories, and storage for the Selma Police Department.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. I think this is a pretty straightforward item. However, we did want to note that we have chosen to go with Axon as our body worn camera provider for a multitude of reasons. One of the biggest reasons is just their experience in dealing with this equipment. Additionally, they have software which will allow us interoperability with the Fresno County District Attorney's Office in data sharing for cases. So that's also going to be a huge help for us, as well as their redaction programs and all the other software that goes along with this type of program. So with that, we have budgeted this fiscal year asking for a little bit extra out of Measure S, because I believe we were hoping they were going to get a grant on this program, and that unfortunately did not come to fruition. However, we were ready to go within 3 weeks of not receiving that grant and getting the notification. That said, we will plan on budgeting future expenses in upcoming fiscal years, as we will amortize the cost for this program over the next 5 years.
Thank you for that, Chief. Anybody have any questions about the body worn cameras? In terms of the timeline, we're looking at 6 to 9 months for the implementation of this.
No, we believe done. Just
In the best
what our
of all
vendors
possible
done is
worlds.
4 to 6 weeks.
Okay.
So we've been
To receive them and start implementing.
correct. That's what we're told. Now, please keep in mind the holidays are coming up. That's what they're telling us. But we're hoping 6 to 8 weeks would be a better. We're hoping by the end of the fiscal year or calendar year, rather. I apologize.
Got it. And are there any issues? I've heard there's issues when the internet goes out and they have to record on their cell phones. Is there an issue about officers being out of range, or they, not being able to record on the body cams, or is that all part of the training?
I've not heard of that issue.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, they should link up with our internet services, whether it's air cards or traditional or
Cloud.
Wi-Fi, city Wi-Fi.
Got it. And once we have them implemented and we have a pretty good feel as to how they operate, we'd be more than happy to make a presentation to council about how they're being deployed and how the officers are using them.
Great. Sounds good.
If I just have a question, Exxon. Did they mention what other cities are contracted with them? Because I didn't see it on here.
Oh, Axon,
They
I believe Fresno, I mean,
county, I
yeah,
know. the county
Axon it's a national,
pretty
they're
much. Okay.
huge. They pretty much run the industry.
Oh,
There are some newer vendors that are coming out, but they're not as proven and they've not been in the industry as long as Axon. That's why we wanted to make sure that the vendor we chose was going to be someone that was stable and proven in the industry so that we don't have issues
Right.
with technical difficulties. And if we do, the support and the agreement will come with support to resolve those matters quickly as possible.
They were pretty impressive, so I just curious to see if there was other cities that were contracted with them.
Any other questions? Anything from the public? Anybody online or on the phone? Comment?
1057 Mill Street, Rose Robertson, another win for the city of Selma. As you know, we've been fighting for body cams for many, many years with the citizens is what they've been wanting for many, many years. So this is a big win. This is where our taxpayer money is, appropriate and we're happy about this and we'll continue to be public safety supporters. We always have been and will continue to be in anything public safety needs. We will continue to be behind it along with the citizens of Selma. But great news and thank you very much for everybody who pushed this through.
Anybody on the phone or online?
As a reminder to the caller on Zoom, please use your raise your hand feature and we can add you to the meeting queue.
Great, thank you. Unless we have any further comment, we will move on to future agenda items.
Don't you need a motion for this one?
Oh yeah, this is a voting action. Is there a motion to approve
make a
the
motion.
body worn cameras? Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Call the roll, please.
Councilmember Mendoza Navarro.
Yes.
Councilmember Guerra.
Yes.
Councilmember Trujillo.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cho.
Yes.
Mayor Robertson.
Yes. Now we'll move on to the future agenda items. Does anybody have any future agenda items they would like to request at this time?
I do, Mayor.
Okay.
I'd like an update on the new housing development. Also an update on the senior center when it's opening. And then the park equipment for Brettlinger.
If I may, Councilmember Garrett, so when you say new housing development, a specific housing or just in general, the housing development within Selma?
Everything.
Just overall
overall,
housing development.
yeah.
And then is it okay if rather than an agenda item for the for actually most of those items, if we give them during department updates? Or would you like an actual agendized item? We can come back at the next meeting with actual updates during the department reports.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
I'd like to add something. I know we've talked about that fence along Schaefer Park. Is there a way that we can find funding to make that? And I know there's some agreements or something that we have to do, but that was it the good neighbor fence, but I'd like to see if we can extend that all the way, from where the block wall ends all the way out to the street. Is there a way that we can do that?
We
I'd
can
like
have
that
that
to-
discussion on a future
Yeah, it could be a
agenda.
discussion and then you could bring it back to whatever your proposal is. Thank you.
I have a item I'd like to add. I understand that the city staff had a meeting or went to SKF And I understand that SKF had some CIP projects. And I'd like to put on the agenda, I'd like to discuss the last email we received in regards to the total of the SKF CIP projects in total.
Just to clarify, that was with regard to SKF's expenditures for a closed circuit television CCTV of the sewer lines. Okay.
I'd like to get an update on the Dinuba and Dockery sewer lines. And I'd like an update on any possible litigation from the recent trash hauler bid. If there is any.
Is there a consensus on all of these items?
I agree.
Okay, that we will move on to departmental reports. City manager.
Yes, thank you. First of all, thank you to our staff. They're doing a great job. Just keeping the city moving forward, and happy Bosses Day to all of the members of the council and all of my department heads. We had a really fun day, the department heads especially. But no, thank you for all the hard work that you're doing. I do have some positive, some really exciting news. We were notified last week that the city of Selma was awarded a $3 million grant from Caltrans as part of their Clean California program to clean up 2nd Street because it is an off-ramp area off of the 99. So I think we're going to be able to do some really good things with that $3 million, which is a good chunk of change.
That's great.
And then, yeah, am I missing anything in terms of grants? I feel like we received another one. Urban greening, which is mostly a planning grant, but that will also help us not just in the on the 2nd Street area, but then around our schools. And so that's mostly a planning grant of about $300,000. So great job to our staff for obtaining those grants. And that is all I have.
Another win.
City attorney,
Nothing to update.
deputy city manager.
I would just like to echo the city manager's thanks to staff. Not only are they doing a great job, carrying workload, handling hard projects, they're moving them forward, but they make people feel like part of the team. And last week was my birthday and staff surprised me and I couldn't have felt more wanted in a place. So I just wanted to thank staff. Also for Bosses Day, when you walk in and you see 3 lookalikes, it makes you feel wanted. So again, I just want to echo the city manager's thanks to staff for all their hard work, their joy in what they're doing, and just the great job that they're doing as well.
Community Services Director, and happy birthday.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. Of course, I have a few things to update. We have closed Mean Girls at the Selma Arts Center. I'm happy to report that over half of those shows were completely sold out. And so far, Nicolette ran the final numbers and it looks like we made about a $10,000 profit, which was about $5,000 more than we had budgeted for. So
awesome.
Great job to them for, just continuing to go out there, get sponsorships and such. With the Art Center, Cool Kids Productions, My Son Pinocchio, their auditions are open now. So if kids ages 6 to 14 would like to participate, that is currently open. We have our first pickleball training activity this weekend on the 21st. We still have a few spots available. So if anybody's interested in learning the game of pickleball, reach out to us at City Hall and we'll get you guys signed up. This is a free program. And then on the 19th, we have the Senior Resource Fair. Very, very pleased and honored that Assembly Member Dr. Arambula agreed to partner with us this year just to bring more services to our community, to our seniors, and showcase all of the things that we have to celebrate here. So I definitely appreciate that. And then I do want to give a big shout out to Pioneer Village as I segue into my next topic real quick. If you guys happen to be out at Pioneer Village this week for our Pumpkin Palooza, you noticed the place looked amazing. So much better than I have seen it in the 2 years that I've been here. They really worked hard at removing old debris and brush, and they continue to fix holes and, just go above and beyond removing dead trees and things like that. So I really appreciate the ownership that they're taking in Public Works to get out there and really take care of our properties. It looked really, really great. And then in that Pumpkin Palooza was a huge success. We had over 350 of our residents come out, families come out. There was face painting, train rides, inflatable rides, games, crafts. And the cool thing for me, in addition to it being obviously a community event that we had kind of envisioned, a free event to the community, free pumpkins, all of that sort of stuff, was the collaboration amongst all the departments. The fire department was there, PD was there. We had volunteers from city staff. Public Works came out and helped us work the event. They didn't just come in to set up. They actually played the games with the kids and just really had a great time. So the highlight for me though, and I share this story and I hope I don't tear up, was there was a young family that was leaving and the mom walked away and she turned around and she came back and she kind of whispered to me, I don't know that she wanted her kids necessarily to hear it. And she said, I've always wanted to take my kids to a pumpkin patch. And you guys, when I talk about the tears that well up, just realizing the impact that we're making, something that just seems like maybe it's a day of fun really is something that our community members got to participate in. They had a blast. Everyone was wowed. One person, one of the grandmas who brought her grandchildren on her way out, I asked her, well, did you have a good time? And she said, you gave me way more than we could handle. So I'm proud of my team. I'd especially like to thank Liz Martinez, our recreation supervisor. She absolutely killed it at planning this event and making this a family fun event for our community. So again, thank you to everybody that was a part of it, and big thanks. I know I asked for a lot during the last budget request to do these type of community events. So thank you to council for trusting us to bring these type of events to our community. I appreciate it. And I think that is all I have today. Thank you.
Another win.
Fire Chief.
Well, that's going to be tough to follow. Great
It's a
job,
tough one.
Amy and your staff. I just want to highlight that at the fire department, every day is like boss's day because my staff dresses up the same as I do. With that, the fire department's doing well. Just the two updates I have that I think are important to the fire department. Our ambulance number 4 that's been in the body shop for a couple of months is getting very close. It's all painted the same color as of yesterday. So we're hoping to get that back on the streets here in the next couple of weeks. And then ambulance number 5 that was budgeted for purchase should be delivered at the end of the month. So that's going to have a significant positive impact on our department. End of report.
Thank you, Chief. Right, City Clerk, Public Information Officer.
Mayor, council members, members of the public, I'm happy to announce and just to remind everyone that the City of Selma's fall community cleanup has started. Today was the first day. I was out there this morning and there was a large line waiting for it to open. Along with the community cleanup, a reminder of Saturday's Fresno County Household Hazardous Waste Drop-Off event. So that will take place on Saturday from 8 a.m. to 12 noon, and that is sponsored by the County of Fresno. There are a number of public projects that are dwindling down to the very end of their phases, and that includes the Downtown Central Business District Improvement Project that is on its last phase and should be completed by the end of October. That, along with the Alphabet Street project, will also be done by the end of October. The Fresno County Overlay Project will be done by, or is expected to be done by November 3rd. So we are excited to finalize those 3 projects. The newest project, which is the Selma, Nebraska and Thompson Avenue Sewer Main Replacement Project. Forgive me, that's a big title. So Nebraska and Thompson that project is making progress and is on schedule. They closed the Thompson and Nebraska intersection today, and it will remain closed for the majority of the project to through traffic. So residents and the school district have been notified. We've also published a lot of information on our website and on our social media pages. So we're excited to have that project finalized the timeline for that project is 60 days. So although these improvement projects have caused some delay, we anticipate that the overall projects will be successful and our residents and our businesses will be excited once they are all done. Because I know city staff is going to be excited once they are all done. Thank you. That's my report.
Thank you. Any report on Public Works?
Nothing to report at this time for Public Works.
Police Chief Alcaraz?
Nothing to report.
Thank you. That will move on to council reports. Councilmember Mendoza Navarro.
So I attended the National Night Out that was hosted October, was it this 3rd? Yeah, October 3rd. It was a really nice event and the weather was pretty cooperative that day. So it was a good job that you moved it from August to October. And then I attended the VROP building ribbon cutting over at the high school. And then from there, I went over to the CVTC 10th cohort graduation. And I wanted to talk to the director of the VROP because, again, I think we talked about, maybe not partnering, but basically like collaborating together, right? Those two facilities. And one of the things for myself is as I sat there, I thought, man, many moons ago, I participated in the VROP program. And, it was a whole different direction. I was going fashion merchandising and I'm in the housing business now, but it was just really good to see that it's still there, for those students that aren't ready to go to high school or, maybe not sure of what they want to do. This is a good path for them to do. And then I just wanted to say great job to staff. You guys are doing an amazing job. I love to see all of these wins that we talked about today. And I know that there's going to be more continued wins. You guys are doing an amazing job and working really hard. On a personal note, the last couple of months have been really busy for me. I recently was appointed as the interim ED for the Madera Housing Authority. So it's exciting. And every time I go in, I think this is a little mini city. So I can see how busy you are. And so it really helps it really helps me to think about the staff, right? Because if you don't put in the right staff, then you can't move forward. And so I'm so excited that I hired 4 new people. So we're moving forward, but just wanted to say that on a personal note that what you guys do, like I understand, because I'm now on both sides. So that's it. Thank you.
Councilmember Trujillo.
I also attended the National Night Out, which was really nice. It was really nice weather. Attended the ribbon cutting, the high school VROP. I could not or skip the graduation because my manager of my business was her birthday, so I had to take care of her. So that comes first, and I apologize for that. But I also attended a Selma Bond Committee. I'm a member in the Bond Committee for the Selma High School, and we're actually in need of looking for a senior citizen community member to join. Bob Allen left us and left a gap in our committee. So I request for anyone that's wanting to join the bond committee, the oversight committee, looking at the bond for the school district. I appreciate you guys to reach out to the school district. In regards to the staff, great job. I keep on, that's one thing. Last night I was with some people that from Caltrans and they were telling me how proud they are of the people that work for Selma. And, I felt really lots of pride because I feel like we've been bringing in new people and it's paying off, stick it out. Hard work is really important and it shows. And, the municipal government, it goes slow. So for that, I tell all the staff members in this city, congratulations and thank you. And you guys are going to have a lot more wins. It's just laying down the groundwork, right? And to my city manager and my city attorney, I really, really, really congratulate you guys for all the hard work you guys are doing. Thank you. That's it.
Councilmember Guerra.
Okay. I also attended the CVTC graduation and that was just another great graduation, especially at the Art Center. Just it makes it so much special. And I think that the students, the parents, and everybody involved really love it there. So I'm really glad that the city is working with them to continue to keep those graduations going there. And also very proud that we had 5 candidates from Selma that were in this graduation or that completed the training. So that was great. And it was an awesome thing to talk to them because they were very, very proud. And it just, I mean, talk about tearing up, you know, it really hits home because like we're saying, some of these kids, well, I shouldn't say kids because, you know, maybe that's not the right word, but I call them kids because they're a lot younger than I am. But, you know, they're looking forward to starting a great life, you know, getting paid, doing well, becoming homeowners for the first time, becoming, you know, some of them are single, some are married with children. And, you know, just to see them so happy that they completed this course is just amazing. So I'm very proud. Also, I did attend the National Night Out with my grandbabies and they really, really enjoyed it. That was a great thing. Nice to see everyone. So that was great. Now, the other thing is the only downer that I do have, unfortunately, is I did get some calls on a fence there at Brettlinger. It's the one on Rose. It's the metal fence. It looks green, white, I don't know, but it just looks tacky. I'm hoping that maybe, like we said, if there's something we could do to spray paint it, make it look a little cleaner, that would really help, you know? So I said I'd mention it and see what we can do about it. I don't know if it's something that, you know, we can budget or put it for future projects.
Councilmember Garrett, if I could just add, in response to that, so we've actually been looking at that. We're requesting quotes. It's not structurally, you know, sound anymore to really spray paint. I mean, it's not really going to last. So we're obtaining quotes right now because that is something that Public Works pointed out recently that they said we really need to replace that fence. So we're working on it.
Oh, wonderful. Another win. But other than that's it for me. And again, I just want to echo what everyone else is saying. You know, really appreciate staff and all the hard work that you guys are doing. I mean, it's such a huge, huge accomplishment, especially just everything. You're seeing the difference downtown. You're seeing the difference, you know, with Public Works. I mean, they're putting so much effort out there and it's a lot of work, a lot of work. So thank you guys all for everything you guys do, everything you did. That's amazing. You're right. There are parents out there that can't take their kids, their children to a pumpkin patch, but this is just as great. So thank you for all of that, what you guys do. So that's it for me.
Mayor Pro Tem?
Yeah, I attended the National Night Out. It was great to see some of the police officers and the firefighter group present. Attended also the high school ribbon cutting for the, what do you call it? A fantastic building, you know, up-to-date building, you know, future building. Did attend Central Valley Training graduation. This is like the 10th one. And like you say, they graduated 151 students since they started. We did have our Pack Fight 29. Officer Corey Lynch won. Again, I held his title in his pillow fight. Paramedics Travis gave him his all, you know, it's like almost like Goliath versus David on this one. So we're gonna have to revamp how that's gonna work with the weight thing, I think. CVOSC will be presenting a small check to each of those associations for participating in one of the future council meeting. And CVLSC is doing the fundraiser, Chili Verde fundraiser, and that's coming up next Monday. I'd like to thank the staff, all of you, for purchasing tickets, and my Cash App is working really well. And also thank you, staff, for doing all your hard work. We appreciate it. Okay, thank you.
I want to echo that, say thank you to staff. Amazing work. Well deserved. Everything is going really well. And as Council Member Garrett said, just win after win for our city. Much appreciated. I would also like to say I went to the National Night Out. It's good to see people out that night. There were lots of people there, wives, girlfriends, people attending, and it was good to see public safety out in force and to see them deservedly honored. Went to the CBTC graduation. I'm happy about that 3 million grant from Caltrans for Second Street. We've been looking at that for years. And I think that's going to be important. I appreciate the council member bringing up the agenda item of the SKF. If he wasn't, I was, so I don't have to do that anymore, but I will have input for that agenda item and I'll save it for that time. And I'll also be bringing it up at the SKF board meeting that I attend next, and we'll be discussing it with the chair and with the district manager. And with that, is there a motion to adjourn our meeting for the
I'll make a
evening?
motion to adjourn.
Okay, we're